Hey everyone, Ackermaniac here, and I've been dying to make a new video about the Xbox drama that's been going on. What drama is that, you say? Well, it seems like Xbox is quitting the console wars. Why are they quitting? Because they are going to allow PlayStation and Nintendo to have their logos in Xbox gameplay showcases. What does this do? It shows that Xbox does not care about exclusives for Xbox hardware. All they care about is getting Microsoft games out into players' hands. Now, is this a crazy strategy? Or has Xbox decided to focus on a new war instead of the old war? What's the point of having Xbox hardware when consoles now basically function like PCs with different OSs? Microsoft already has Windows, so they might as well get their games into other marketplaces like Nintendo and PlayStation. How do they plan to do that? Well, I have a few theories, so let's get into it. In my opinion, this is Xbox's bold strategy. I'm pretty sure they've already made this clear, but I'm just going to make it clear for my audience in this video. Xbox only cares about Xbox Game Pass. Now, what does that mean, to only care about Xbox Game Pass? Well, they want to get all their games onto as much hardware and marketplaces as possible. And the reason they want to do that is subscribers equals money. Now, it's no surprise that Xbox has already lost the console wars, with Switch making over 150 million units sold and PlayStation 5 making about 75 million units sold. Xbox is way behind. So might as well quit while you're ahead and move on to the new war instead of fighting the old war. This has already been floated by Microsoft before, that they do want to put Game Pass on other game consoles like Nintendo or PlayStation. Now, this sounds crazy and insane, but perhaps it's a Trojan horse for Xbox to increase its market share using the marketing power of PlayStation and Nintendo. How great would it be to play Xbox games, whether installed or cloud-based, on your Switch 2 or your PlayStation 5? This sounds reasonable to me because there's no other company that can do this. Nintendo won't do it. They won't be putting their games on PlayStation or Xbox or Microsoft. And PlayStation won't be doing it. They won't put their games on any of their hardware. Although that's starting to change with them putting their games onto PC. So now you're already starting to see the console wars starting to collapse right under these companies' feet. The ground below them is crumbling, and in order to save themselves, they're putting their games onto other hardware in order to increase their market share. Nintendo has too much pride and too much market dominance to even do such a thing. So what we're left with is PlayStation and Microsoft trying to increase market share any way they can, which is why they're putting their games onto Steam. Speaking of Steam, you know what's not on consoles? Steam. So it's Xbox's opportunity to become the Steam/Netflix of games on consoles and other hardware. Like I said, Nintendo and PlayStation will never do this. How great would it be to play Xbox games on Nintendo or PlayStation? Imagine you get a Switch 2, but then you can also play new Xbox titles, whether through the cloud or software specifically made to work on PlayStation or Nintendo. That's completely reasonable nowadays because most games are made on Unreal Engine 5 or Unity. So it's pretty easy to port these games to wherever they need to go. And if Switch 2 has more parity with something like PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, then those games have no problem going onto those consoles. What does this mean? To me, it means that Xbox can very quickly increase their market share. But with that said, why would Nintendo or Sony allow Microsoft to do this on their hardware? The reason would be that they get a cut of the profits of Xbox Game Pass. Now, the standard rate for revenue sharing is 30%. Now, if this does happen and Nintendo and PlayStation do allow it, Xbox will have to take a 30% cut in their profits. Now, does that mean they will raise the price of Game Pass plus 30%? Or is it better to just eat those costs, raise your market share, and goodwill among other gamers that only have Nintendo products or PlayStation products. Like I said, Xbox has already lost. It costs a lot of money to develop a console, and they already develop Windows, so why make a dedicated gaming box when every gaming box could be capable of playing Xbox and Microsoft games? It makes a lot of sense to me, but like I said, this could easily be a Trojan horse that puts Xbox on a level playing field with powerhouses like PlayStation and Nintendo. This really could make Xbox and Microsoft the central hub for gaming like Netflix or Steam. Now, quick little sidebar here. I don't like the future of just digital gaming, and I think that would suck if all of our games were put on Netflix or Steam like services and you could never own them technically. But I don't think this is Microsoft's main concern. I think their only concern is to raise subscribers on Game Pass. Now, could Microsoft do this in a stupid way? Would they require you to have an Xbox Live account or any other sort of Xbox account, like how PlayStation wants you to have a PlayStation account, even though you're playing PlayStation games on Steam? In my opinion, that's an insane prospect. They should not go that direction. If they're going to put Game Pass in other consoles, I would say eat the 30% revenue share, grow your player base, raise the goodwill with other players, get Microsoft and Xbox games onto other consoles, and a couple years from now, they could be super main players just like the other big two. This could honestly be a Hail Mary pass for Xbox and Microsoft's strategy to sell their games to the biggest player base possible, which is Nintendo, Sony, and Windows and Steam. Now, I know what you're thinking. I know Steam is thinking about making a dedicated game console with Steam OS. This could throw a wrench into the Xbox Game Pass plan, but I think that's exactly why they want to do it right now. They're going to try to beat Steam to the market, because as soon as Steam comes to the market and you can get Steam on Nintendo and PlayStation and all of that, then it doesn't really make sense to get Game Pass. Now, this could have a real downside to Xbox and Microsoft gaming in general, because doing this, why would anyone want to buy an Xbox unless Xbox starts releasing their consoles for cheaper than the other consoles? So now players can choose to buy an Xbox because it's cheaper and allow them to play Game Pass games on Xbox, but at the same time, they don't have to buy an Xbox. They could buy a PlayStation or a Nintendo Switch 2 and get Xbox games on there. Or they can get them on Windows. Do you see where I'm going? They can get Xbox games on any hardware. Yes, in the long run, Xbox's market share for consoles will drop. But does it matter if they're getting more and more subscribers to Game Pass? This type of service has made Netflix the #1 streaming company on the planet, even outpacing Disney. So the more variety you have on the consoles that you play, the more likely the market share for the games that are on those consoles to increase. And what does Microsoft have to do? They just need to put Game Pass on PlayStation and Nintendo. Then they got to eat the 30% revenue share, and all the while rake in those monthly subscription fees month after month, eventually phasing out Xbox hardware entirely. There's no point in continuing to take losses on hardware when you can just release your games on other hardware and rake in the dough for subscription fees. So that's the video, guys. What do you think about this theory? Will Xbox try to put Game Pass on as many consoles and hardware as possible and rake in the dough from subscriptions, while eventually canceling Xbox entirely and no longer having to deal with losing money on every Xbox system sold? Will they increase their market share and eventually rival Nintendo and PlayStation? Let me know what you think in the comments. And please do understand that I feel for Xbox and Microsoft fans. I understand the console war is important because it costs a lot of money to either buy a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox. And it seems to be the losing prospect was buying the Xbox. But maybe we can all benefit by getting Xbox games on no matter what console you buy. So let me know what you think in the comments. Like the video if you liked it. Shoot me a sub if you think I'm cool. And talk to you in the next video. See you later.